Hello, everybody! Welcome to Level Up Circle TV. I know I'm a little extra tonight. I'm always happy when I have my sisters with me, so you guys already know who those are. Anyways, I don't have to say anything. Anyhow, so I am doing the third edition of Level Up Circle magazine. Yes, that is the cover. I'll have some oncologists in here. I'll have some top AI evangelists actually going to be on this magazine. I'm hoping, I'm hoping, crossing my fingers. And I have some really amazing tech. Mostly, I think I have three men right now that who are on my list. And so we will be doing the magazine on them and what they're doing for the community, highlighting their amazing, right? Amazing contributions to our dynamic village. If you are thinking of using dynamic village or village, people always say the village people too, right? But like, it didn't really start until we started it. Michelle Ramos and I were talking about that, and we did call it dynamic village. So if you're going to use dynamic village, especially those two words, yeah, just credit where credit is due. That's all I'm saying. Now, for this magazine, the sale ends on August 30th, and you can still go into the magazine for 10 days after that. But after August 30th, it doesn't come with television interview, which actually puts you to demographics of about 73% women. And also on YouTube, which is 67% men. So actually, you have both, right? In terms of demographics. And it's going to be amazing because amplifying your messages is my job, and making sure that everybody in my network and other people's network who networks with me, like the Hounds of Business community, really knows where you are, who you are, and what you are, and why you are soul hearted, right? I'm over heart centered. People are like, I'm heart centered. Right. You have a beat in your heart, but who you are needs to align with what you do, right? We are not transactional leaders. We are transformational leader. What does that mean, CJ? Of course, we want money, duh, but that's not what our focus is. Our focus is to transform every single being, every single person who comes across in our business, okay? And we do gossip, positive gossip, but we have some gossipers out there that are um hmm tearing down communities. So back to sender. Bye. That's all I'm going to tell you for that one. Now, this sister from another, look at that beautiful smile. I think we're going to update this picture soon. My blondie, my sugar baby. So, anyhow, beyond boundaries and moving beyond boxes and now rebel with a cause is our book together. We do anthology in the box. So if you're thinking, hey, I want to do an anthology, how do I get in, right? I don't have $30,000. No worries, just DM us and we will see what we can do for you. I do want to tell you that we do have a minimum between 20 to 25 people that you gather to do anthologies, and if you want to be the lead in that, of course you can. We can help you publish. If you want to self-publish that as your own, we can also help you with that. Just DM Susanna and I, and we will be happy to help you. We also have our book club, and I don't have my QR code in here. How horrible am I, right? Basically, in terms of our book club, we basically tell you how to market it. What are some of the things that we do for you? What are some of the themes of writing that you can do? We do a little bit of marketing. We do a little bit of technical writing. We do a little bit of conversations. And if you are the type of person that who's busy, like all the time, going, is okay, because the classes is basically recorded, right? But then we also have a live every fourth of the month is our book club meeting. Obviously, you can't go in there if you're not a paid member because this is a membership only. So if you're really ready for your career to learn how to write properly, not just some random editing and some random anthologies, I'm talking about technical. Of course, anybody can do anthologies, but can you do it where you're actually not all over the place? Can you do it where you actually know how to structure it, right? Properly, right? So that's what we're talking about here. Okay, so this is another thing that we're doing. I am actually the only one who's not in the military on this picture. I'm surrounded by Marines. Like, what? Right? These are amazing leaders. This is an in person transformational workshop that we're doing. It's a webinar. It's going to be here in San Diego. It's at 11 a.m. on October 19th. That is a Saturday, folks, and it is going to be with Sandra Gonzalez. She is the lead on this project. I'm tagging along to help. And also Dr. Lucas Dreyer. I think he was talking about being part of the TV, part of his mission. And so we're going to talk about the mental capacity and what it takes to really mean by grit, right? So we're going to share those strategies for you. How do you command a room? How do you solidify your mindset? How do you sustain and level up? And I'm talking about level times 10, not level 2, not level 3, times 10 with these amazing leaders in San Diego. San Diego's a destination, guys. October, we have a lot of PSL, pumpkin spice lattes, right? Not just at Starbucks, by the way, everywhere. And maybe, just maybe, you can bring your family and you can do a pumpkin patch. You know, they do it early in October. Just saying. All right. So, what else do we have? We have a lot going on, but I want to also highlight this brother from another Mr. Hounds of Business Community, Mike Asherbrenner. He does a lot of sustaining relationship, community building, and also making sure that he's like a business matchmaker. Mike, don't steal that. That's copyrighted from me. Okay. He's a business matchmaker, right? Basically, he matches people and connect the right people within his community, and who would be the right fit, right? So that's what Mike does. And that's where we are going to stop. And then, of course, my amazing sisters are amazing, period, times 10. So, and no one is going to be contrabida tonight. Contrabida, do you know what that means? You have to be Filipino to know it. But I'm saying nobody go against it. My sisters are times 10, period. Period. No comma, no semicolon, no dashes, nothing. Okay? Hi, everybody. I know you're like, CJ, why are you in the corner? Because this is what happens right here.
She's drinking water.
I know she's like,
I was too. I was too.
see, look, this is like a little Eeyore cup. And
I'll take the pink and
Oh, pink.
oh, I have pink on water.
ooh.
Ooh.
I'm extra, you know me.
How did you get that little thingy on there? The
Amazon. I know I'm so bad. I am so bad. Anyway, either TikTok shop or Amazon. Oh my god. She was on TikTok live with me.
who?
Yes. Susanna. Jenny Gold was there. And I was like, I look like crap, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't have any makeup. I was showing them skincare and this magic. I feel like I'm selling now. This magic wand right here for a 50-year-old to like plancha, like iron my face just so I could
Flinch.
no wrinkles, no wrinkles. Okay. But
Oh,
really
man.
the thing that I use is I drink everything with collagen, right? Like this coffee has collagen. My skincare has collagen. My makeup has collagen. My lotion has collagen. Okay, like I bathe in it. I'm just saying. So that's what you should know.
I bathe in it.
I could have toothbrush that's like toothpaste has collagen. I'm like, oh, my gums needs collagen. I do with collagen in this.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe not that. Maybe
No,
not.
maybe not that. Maybe
Yeah.
not. So we're laughing right now, but really, this is a serious matter, right? AI and anthologies. Is it really your thoughts, right? Is it really your story? And what are some of the, so as a professor, there are ethical implications. Here's the thing. Let's say that you have done it all this time and none of your teachers really caught on. None of your teachers said anything. And let's say that you graduated, you got your bachelor's degree, blah, 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 right? 2 years later, there is auditor, there is third party auditor in university, and sometimes they audit students' file. But let's say that obviously 5 years from now, they're gonna have like a turn it in type of software where they know if you wrote everything or partially in AI. And let's say that your paper was 100% on all of these. And then they're gonna be like, should we question their degree or not? Did they really earn that or not? And you guys already know, I mean, look at, we had precedents on, not president, precedents on the law, right? Roe versus Wade. Nobody knew that it's going to get overturned, right? Years later. You see where I'm going with this? So even if there's a law like no one sift through the AI, but 10 years, 5 years from now, there might be a law against you getting your degree in writing everything in AI. That what are the ethical implications, and did you really earn that? And I know, even if there aren't official, right now software we use in universities, I usually turn it in, and there's other ones out there, but I can tell if you write your paper in AI. The reason being is that it's so sterile. When you're writing it, it's just blah 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 blah. There is no the structure is wonderful, the grammar is perfect, but I know how you like talk, especially my students. I know how they talk, and their grammar is so perfect. And you're like, CJ, you could write and write differently than the way you talk. True, because I do too. But when you're missing that emotional, like people, okay, for example, and Susanna can correct me. This one, this is a good example. The That day was really sad day because I went to the store. Great. But if I wanted to be transformed into your diverse experience and sad experience, this is how you, as a human being, would say. That day was very sad. It was gloomy. It was raining. There was nothing in there. The snow melted on the car. I couldn't, like, it was frozen. When I tried to open it, my hands were like frozen and it feels numb. Like you could describe. Don't tell me, show me. And you can show the words, right? And so when I see your paper perfect, I was like, okay, Mr. AI over there. Hi, Ken. Like literally, right? Um, so that is the problem. But here's the thing. I'm not saying don't use AI because I would be lying to you if I say I don't use AI. I use AI for comparative analysis. I use AI to sift through. I use AI to structure. But before AI, I was already doing it. But now it's faster. I can be 10 times CJ. That's kind of scary, actually. I shouldn't
It's 100 times CJ.
I shouldn't say that out loud. But how do you feel about writing anthologies with AI? Sister Susanna.
I don't like it. I look at AI, if you're going to use it as a tool, you can look at it in terms of ideas. You can look at it in terms of maybe structure. But if you think you're going to use AI to write your paper, write your chapter, write something that's supposed to be meaningful and that you really want it to connect to people, AI can't do that. I've read chapters and it's like there's no emotion. I get the story. I understand the story. But when you look at one that's written by AI and you look at one that's written by a person, even if they had help with its structure, it's like they wrote the story. It's their story, and they make it come across and alive. That's the difference. Why read one that just feels dead? And it's like it was written by a vampire. No emotions.
Hey, this vampire has emotions. You see, I'm
Sis, I get that, but it's that way. It's just like no,
That's what I think.
the werewolf will have more emotions than the vampire will.
I'm half werewolf, half
Fine.
vampire.
Okay, fine. You want to go zombie? I know you love zombies too, so it'll be written by a zombie then.
Just here for the fun.
You're here for the comic
Minions.
relief. I know.
I was doing
Zombie and minions. The minions have more life to them than the zombie.
Oh my god. Okay, guys, here's another thing that we kind of segue a little bit. We're gonna talk about AI in a little bit, but here's the thing. Okay. So I grew up where my grandma literally raised me that you cannot say words that you don't mean. So if you get angry in relationship with your kids or whatever, um, you can't let go words that you don't mean, because you can't, even if you apologize, you don't take away the hurt and the pain that you've caused that person. And it's gonna be like, people always relate to emotions. That's why people buy things like crazy, because of emotions. So if you let go with words that you didn't mean, you might apologize, but that words and that feeling of hurt constantly is in that person. My grandma always have told me that. So I'm arguing with my husband and he would let go words. I'm like, I'm gonna throw chinelas at you. Stop talking, right? And my grandma used to say like, you would rather get whooped, okay, than basically told that you're a loser, you're this or that. And I truly believe in that. However, when you're actually like having some weird thoughts in your head, instead of letting go those words, have you guys watched Minions? Like when they're emotional with each other, right? So I went minion conversation with Susan. I called her, I'm like, she goes, what? I'm like, blah, 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 beep. Like,
And the
Just like
numbers go up. The numbers go
what
up.
else
Do
to
it
do?
again.
I literally went minion, guys. Like, oh my god. I'm probably like, she goes, you feel better now? Like, are you okay? And then she's like, are you okay? She got quiet for a minute. I'm like, beep, beep, I'm good. Like, I have returned to sender. This is another CJism. Like, don't let go with words. Instead of
TJs.
saying, F you this and that and that and hate you, just go, ah,
The numbers are gonna go up.
I was just waiting for banana in there somewheres.
Nana, look, Nana.
Oh man. See, it went up. It went up.
Because I went up full of myself. Oh my gosh. Okay, sister, your turn. How do you
Oh
feel about
man.
AI and anthologies?
Yeah, I I don't like it either. It's not my favorite. I would just, for me, I'd rather just hear authentic voice. You know, with, even what is this, like number 4 for me with my wonderful sisters here. There's errors and stuff, because I'm a recovering perfectionist. So, you know, I don't necessarily like AI. I'd rather see like some human in there, right? Like, oh, you're human, you missed a comma, like cool, like we're good, we're the same, like it's okay. I'd rather hear that authentic voice. I think that's most important when you're telling your story. Because if I wanted to read AI, I would just go and chat GPT and tell it to tell me a story about my life or something. Just kidding. The numbers go up.
Good. Yeah, so yeah, I actually wanted to also like go back that, ChatGPT is good for something, but not when
Yeah,
you're doing your story, right? Like, let's be honest, we're laughing about it, but it's a good tool. Okay, I'll be honest with you. It's a good
yeah, it
tool.
is a good
It's
Right.
tool.
comparative analysis. But
Yeah.
don't use it to write your story on any anthologies or your book for that matter, because it doesn't have emotions, right? It doesn't have emotions yet. I'm sure 5 years from now it's going to have, but today, as of today, it doesn't, right? So I would rather have you hit 1,500 words than 3,000 words that's not really yours, because honestly that's not ethical. And B, if it's just structure that you're doing, like, hey, I need to structure this, these are my stories, I need to add some of these, I'm okay with it. A little bit of combo, because think about research paper. When we do research paper, most people, most teachers will be comfortable of 30/70. I'm pretty strict. I need 90/10. What that means is this: I need 10% extrapolated from other research in the database to support as an evidence. 10%. 90% I'm interested of your own thoughts. What is up here? Not relying on what other people saying, but what are some of the theory? What are some of the things that you're looking at and implications, and add those people's opinions who are experts to add to yours, right? That's why I don't Google unless it's Google Scholar and it's third party on the database, because it's already been vetted, right? I will always tell my students I'm allergic to like Wikipedia, any pedias I'm allergic to, because those are people are not vetted. I don't care how smart they are. They're not vetted on academics, right? This is just academic writing. So I still kind of get that structure that if you're going to write and you're going to use ChatGPT, use 10% for structure, 90% your story. And then I will hear the emotions in there. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so I'm going to, I went to one of the audio room last night, and I don't know how the conversation with AI, but I want to talk about several AI tools available. I'm going to ask you guys if you knew about it. So you guys know about ChatGPT, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the purpose of the chat GPT literally is to assist with content generation. Actually, it can be your psychiatrist, chat GPT. The 4.0 lately, I was testing it and I was asking for a certain lyrics. It literally says, hey, if you ask this, you're actually going against our guidelines, and it could be a dinged as a copyright issue. I don't know if you guys seen that. So ChatGPT is slowly, I think their lawyers are slowly working on making sure there are references from what they're gathering, which I love, by the way, because it literally says there is a copyright issue on this. Do you still want it? I'm like, no, I don't want no copyright dinged, right? Another thing is whatever that you put on ChatGPT, you don't think that it's just yours, right? I hope you guys know that. Whatever ideas, okay, so if it's a patent work or a copyright thing that you're writing and you want some whatever you wrote on ChatGPT is now everybody's database. Just want you to know that if you didn't. Okay, so if you're like, I'm going to use this for patent, no, someone is going to sift through that ChatGPT, because think of ChatGPT as this ocean of information. And if you want some fish, where do you go? To the ocean, right? And what kind of fish? Do you want a shark fish? Do you want tilapia? Do you want salmon, right? There's different oceans you can get them. That's what ChatGPT does. It extrapolates where it needs, but also where do you think it got from extrapolation? From you. From you. Because you're adding more information in there. So whatever you're working on, don't put it on ChatGPT and think it's safe. It's not. Okay? It also helps with writing, coding, right? It's conversational responses. And if you think Grammarly is not AI, it is AI driven. Grammarly is AI driven. It does spell check, right? And also plagiarism, but it is AI driven as well. Have you guys heard of Jasper?
I may have, but I don't know anything about it.
I don't think so.
So this is all for writing. So Jasper is like an AI writing assistant for content creation or blog posts. If you're doing blog posts, social media content, it used to be Jarvis, but now it's Jasper. They kind of change it. They have content templates that you can customize, keyword optimization for your blog, right? And long form content generation. These are not short form. How about Copy AI? Have you guys heard of that, sisters?
Mm.
These are copywriting, like I'm an expert in copywriting. Yeah, it's copy AI, right? It also does social media posts. It has product description. So if you're selling a product, it does good stuff like that. Blog content. It can give you multiple templates and also SEO friendly content. So if you want high SEO, most people use copy AI. How about Write Sonic? Have you guys heard of Write Sonic?
Mm-mm.
So this one, same thing, but this is more for website like landing pages, ad copy. If you're doing an advertising on Google Ads, it does that. And it's AI driven. Same thing. It could edit, rewrite, has SEO as well. How about Quillbot? You guys have heard of Quillbot,
I
right?
think I've heard of Killbot. Yeah.
Yeah, Quillbot's the same thing. It's just make sure it does grammar check, but it also is good at paraphrasing and summarizing
Yeah.
and citation generation. So if you don't know your APA 7th and you're in my class, you might want to go to Quillbot. It will help you. I'm just saying. Or you can just ask me and I'll teach you how manually. Slick Write, it's another one. Have you guys have heard of Slick Write?
Mm-mm.
So it's kind of like Grammarly, but it actually structures your sentence and now like in analyze your sentence if it has like a good tone or an angry tone or a professional tone. Like it goes into detail on those. It's and then the readability. So when you're writing, the Grammarly actually has a readability. Like,
Yeah.
can 2 year old, not 2 year old, CJ, can a second grader read this and understand it, right? That's like readability. So Slick Write actually helps with your readability. And so is Grammarly, by the way. But Slick Write is actually focused more on that, like the readability score. How about Ink Editor?
Mm.
Same thing, kind of doing it, but Ink Editor is more heavy on SEO, like to organize your SEO. How about Pro Writing Aid?
Mm-mm.
Okay, these more detailed writing, like if you have master thesis and you're trying to improve your grammar and your readability and just eliminate your errors at a zero, like error. You're like, what does grammar like? This one is more very technical. Like if you do technical writing, manuscripts, this will be doing that. I'm teaching you AI. Okay, it's up to you whether you use it or not. Writer is another one. This one helps generate content, but it has like social media and emails. This is more social media and emails. I prefer dub.com because theirs is more really hot on sales funneling, and it has a CRM, so I like that one. Pseudo write. Have you guys heard of pseudo write?
Mm-mm. I like
So
the name though.
pseudo write is if you're writing like a cartoon, like a movie or cartoon, right? It does story generation for you. You can have character development, plot ideas, creative brainstorming. It does that for you. Pseudo write. Articulo.
No.
This is more of like specific topic. If you want a specific topic, and I think it's limited right now to like maybe 7 elements. So I don't use Articulo. I tried it and I didn't like it. Right Space, no. AI Dungeon.
That
I'm,
seems
I,
scary.
I'm with Ollie on the Commodore 64.
Somebody wants your hat too, CJ.
Oh wow. Yeah, so this is all about writing, by the way. Different AIs writing that I'm telling you, right? Because you're like, CJ, you're one way, you're talking about AI and their implications, and another is you're talking about different AIs. Why should you? Because even if I don't talk about it, you're gonna know about it. But my job as an educator, right? Because remember, Sunday is like education, is to put it out there so that you know what the ethical implications are, and it's really up to you to use it the correct way. I'm not saying don't use AI, because even if we don't want AI, it's coming. I'm trying to teach you to be doing hard skills. Listen, low end jobs needs hard skills. You need to know how to do Word, Excel, how to write, how to communicate, like all of these things, how to do email, how to do, Excel formulas, how to do Outlook. These are hard skills, right? When you become a manager, when you deal with people, you need soft skills. There is no school for soft skills. Why do you think we're having all these issues with gossip? No one taught you soft skills, you see, right? To communicate. Oh, she's looking at me the wrong way. God, she must really think I'm a Bia something. Stop. That's your insecurity talking, right?
Happening.
Really, that's soft skills that you need. You need to be able to just say, you know what? She must have a bad day. It's okay. But all that is soft skills is not given to you. You earn that by going to work. That is why Level Up Academy, no, it's not a sales pitch. I'm literally making sure that you know how to communicate, right, with people, because there's so many different cultures, subcultures, and subcultures within the culture.
Yep.
It's not like there's a formula that you're like, I'm giving you the formula, you got to do it, unless there's chip, which I will never be chipped. But if there's a chip to plug in, like, all this culture, boom, let's go, then it's always humanly possible to learn it if you want to, right? And just lose the attitude, because there's nobody going to work with you with attitude. Now, how do you think, what are some of your thoughts? I know you have a background in investigation and also like law, right? Sister Danielle, what are some of your thoughts? Like, what do you think? This is just us kind of talking. both academics and literally like in real life writing books
Hmm.
and anthologies and solo books. Like, what do you think the ethical implications if you use solely AI to write your chapters?
Oh, it's not yours. That's my. I'm not a lawyer, but my background is that, and so you know, if it's not generated from you, I don't think that's an original piece of work, right? It's not generated necessarily from your thought, but a collection of like bullet points that make up this chapter, you know. So yeah, we have to be really careful about what we put out there because, um, like we're generating images or something like that. It's out there now, right? And a little bit scary the implications, like legally or not as a lawyer, of course, but from that legal background that I have and that we use as investigators, we just have to be really careful. That's just my initial thought.
How about you, sister?
Not solely. Even if I use AI and I ask it a question about, I'll use Chat GPT and I'll
Mm.
ask about, give me five of something. Then I always say, give me references, because quite frankly, I'll look at what it tells me. I want to see the original, and I want to go to the original and extrapolate from that. I do not want what an
Uh-oh.
AI program is going to tell me. So yeah, we've lost her now.
CJ, so that's
My AI followed my heart. It flew
But yeah,
where Donkey is.
it's to let it write your whole thing
Mhm.
and then just kind of proofread it and walk away and say it's done.
Yeah.
I it's not, it's really not yours anymore. It wasn't yours in the beginning. So
Right.
how can you say that this is your original thought if you let AI do the thinking for you, whichever one you use, and just give it a little cursory review, make some edits, turn it in like it's yours, but you didn't do squat. You didn't think about it. You didn't verify the research. Where did it come from? If you're going to trust it, then you've got to have all those. It's like, where did it come from? Give me the references, and then you got to spend a whole lot of time to look at the references, look at what it wrote, and make sure that it actually makes sense. Oh shit! At that point, just go ahead and go look at the references and write it yourself.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a concern too with education that I've heard. I've been to like a summit on education. Like, hey, Dr. Leland, why would we need to spend $20,000 to $200,000 on going to school when what you learn in school is you can learn now through ChatGPT or Google or other AI, right? I said, let me ask you something. When you don't read other people's research and you ask AI, how do you know that that's accurate? Look at the reference AI tells you. Sometimes some of them don't exist.
Mm. Mm.
AI just made up shit. Did I say shit? Yeah, I did. Hi, YouTube. I'm
That
sorry.
was second time saying that. It's
Like,
okay.
they just
Of
made it up.
course.
You can feel good about yourself for using it. Right? But you got to verify it. That's why I use database. I'm old school that way. I'm using database to make sure that it's still there. Use
Yeah.
Google Scholar, really, like it's there, right? But here's the thing: there's also, I want to talk about the positives in AI because I don't. My husband, poor husband, if he's watching this, he's a AI architect evangelist for his work, so I better be quiet now. Um,
Evangelist.
but this is just an education. So let's talk about healthcare, right?
Mm.
Literally, it's medical diagnoses because most of these doctors. So you go, let's go to the ER, right? You go to the ER. I need to get checked. So you get checked. You get a stomach problem because I had some lots of issue. I went to AR with my migraines, right? I had an MRI and blah blah blah. The doctor that you talk to, that you waited for 12 hours to get one result, is not the person actually diagnosing you. It's another doctor behind the doctor. So the person that actually is talking to you is repeating what the other doctor says. So if you're talking to that doctor, I guarantee you it's a general overview that what they're saying. Okay? So you need to be an advocate for yourself. Now imagine the errors that they would make, right? When you say, "Oh, I wish healthcare people and personnel would be so kind." Guys, they have 20. They're kind people. Let me tell you. That's why they went to that job. But they have 20 other customers, right? And they don't have anybody else but 5 nurses with 1 doctor, with 20 to 60 people on the bed. They're not even sleeping, so you got to give them some humanly possible. Now with AI, they don't have to wait anywhere because, okay, here's another thing. I don't know if you guys know this, but if it's super like rare disease or super something, sometimes they even send those people's information all the way across. I'm not going to say the country, but across the globe to get an answer. So sometimes your answer might not be until 12 hours later. And
Mhm.
you're there in the hospital laying down waiting for your answers because you think the doctor that you're putting in front is the one that's reading it. Nope, because they're not a specialist, right?
Mhm.
They're
Yeah.
general practitioner. General means you got a boo boo, you got a cut. That is right? I know you got a boo boo. I'm
Mm.
just saying. So AI, what it does medical diagnostics. You don't have to wait 12 hours. You put it in, you spit it out, and you get the answer. And less human error. Okay, so that's a good thing for healthcare. Personalized treatment. You put a blood and you're like, what's the problem, Kim? And Kim is
Yeah,
very
what's the problem, Kim?
Kim is my AI, guys. I give her an A. Okay. And my sister is like,
So
oh, what's
good.
the problem, Kim? I tried to curse Kim. She did not. She broke me. Kim literally like shut down my computer when I cursed at her. I was like, I'm never cursing Kim. Never. Like she literally got mad at
Kim
me.
told me I'm going too fast, that I needed to slow down. I'm
I
like, I'm not
know.
supposed to be
Okay.
faster than you, Kim.
Seriously, drug
I just
discovery
use
is
him for the
fast.
pictures.
That's true. Finance, right? Fraud detection, algorithmic trading, credit scoring, all of those can be used with AI.
Yeah.
But writing, that things that we write about our own life, our own adversity, our own story, why would you want somebody else to write it for you?
Hmm.
You want someone to write it for you, sister?
Huh?
What do
I
you think?
me?
Yeah.
Hmm. I guess it. I'm looking, and the reason why I'm pausing is because I'm looking at Ollie's comment he just made. Uh, that let's say AI makes a mistake, then whose fault if there's a mistake, right? Um, and that's a good point, right? If who do we? I think that if answers go into right a logical sequence, I think that is good for things that we know about, right? Like, say for example, I broke my arm, ABC, right? You would treat it ABC, but for someone, like, I'm just thinking about my husband, where he didn't have those, just in terms of healthcare, didn't have normal stroke like things, right? How then is AI going to be able to answer those? And so I think that even with writing, I think we use AI as a tool. It can be good in those circumstances, but there still needs to be someone overseeing that. Um, so as these things, intellectual property is still growing, right? And watching it. So that's I don't know if really gave an opinion except to say somebody still needs to be watching,
Someone is watching, but keep this in mind. Let's go back to copyright and intellectual property,
right?
right? We're not going to name countries. I don't want to get shut
Yeah,
down.
no names, no
But
names.
we know which country says, "Hey, don't do that." Okay, we won't. 2 seconds later, boom, 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 fake everything. No one listens to it, right? There's a law. There's an international law. Are they listening? No. Can you shut them down? No, because you're dependent on them. Okay, so here's the thing. Do you think that the lawyers, international, even domestic, will be able to keep up with sifting through all AI, like the TV, the movie, the manuscript, right? All of these things. I think that there is no more art in creating a movie. Everything, like before they open their mouth in the next 5 minutes, I'm like, I already know the plot. I got ADHD. I can see it already,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, can you make it more interesting rather than me scrolling on a movie right now, right?
I have to forward it because I'm like, oh, it happened. And then you forward it. You're like, oh, it happened. I knew it. What a
Yeah,
waste of time.
seriously, what a waste of money. But now, how do we create and integrate? Because we can't delete AI. There is
Yeah.
no such thing as deleting. And we're not hating on AI. We're
No.
saying use it when appropriate.
Mm.
And writing your story is definitely not appropriate. The structure, yes. The entire story, no. So, what are some of the uses that you would love to use AI, Kim? Sister Susanna?
Oh, I'm just thinking about what you just said, and quite frankly, I see the lawyers creating their own AI to make sure that the AI is correct.
Yeah. That,
So
that's
true.
smart,
It
sister.
is.
Tell them we should get paid for that. Susanna should get paid for that. If
No,
someone,
it's already in the works. I
Oh,
can't tell you the project,
you
but
got to figure it's already there. If they haven't already done it, you got to figure they've at least started trying it.
oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it's the places that it's going to work. It probably will work best are the ones that don't require emotion.
Oh, that's a good point. Brilliant.
Mm,
which which is actually it's still a plus or minus because there's a lot of spots where emotion doesn't come into play. You're dealing with numbers, you're dealing with statistics, details, specifics, and so you can sit back and say, yeah, it's just that's how it runs.
Mm. Hmm.
But
Yeah.
you still need a human aspect to it because you can't just say it's black and white. As much as people try to do that, there really is nothing that is that black and white.
no.
Mm. That's a good point.
Sister, can you guys say Medea?
Medea.
Okay, Mike, which one? I say Medea, but how about you, Sister Sana?
It's Sir Mike now. It's Sir Mike.
Oh, that's right. Homesters. Homester said that.
Holmes.
It's
I
Holmes.
call him
dear.
Homes. Huh?
It's like Heller, my
Oh,
dear.
how do you say Medea? Come on. I'm gonna
Say
teach
it, sister.
you. Say
I,
it.
I will support you with Medea because I suspect there are times that that is the name that she uses.
I'm gonna have to side with my Sir Mike on this one. Medea.
Sir Mike, my dear. It's Medea, not Medea.
Sir
Ugh.
Mike.
Ugh. That's so bad. Okay, so what do you think is a happy place when it comes to AI? What are some of the pros of using AI? Let's talk about that.
Mm. Me, I I think it helps when you're stuck. Like, oh, I need just some idea generation, like on that line of being a tool, right? I think that it helps when you're stuck with something like, show me A, B, and C. And it's like, oh wow, the alphabet. Thanks, thanks, Kim.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Kim. Yeah, Crystal, there is no personality. I cannot handle it. Um, I think it's because people want to, we're busy on a lot of things, but we want to commit on some things. But I say that if you cannot commit to it, don't commit to it just for the sake of showing up. Commit to it because you really want to, not for the sake of being all over the place, right? Because I think if you want to really write for yourself, because this are guys, this is your 100 years from now when we expire and we go to the, I almost say Golden Gate Bridge.
Whoa.
sorry. I was thinking about my mom in San Francisco. Okay, Anoni is there too. To the Rainbow Bridge. Um, our family's gonna remember you, and they're gonna remember you. And I think the way you write is your personality, right? Um, I'm fun, but sometimes I feel like my writing is too rigid because I'm very academic, and that's all I know for the last 30 years of my life. I'm still going to school right now. But I think that there's room for improvement, a lot of room for improvement for me. So it's been a challenge as well. So I'm not seeing here like, oh, I'm an expert. No, I'm not an expert, but I know what's right and wrong. And I also want to make sure that I'm not going to be sitting here and saying, oh, you shouldn't use AI. Of course, you can use AI. It's the tools that we have. Is the how are we going to use AI is my concern, right? I'm not saying don't use it because then I'd be a super hypocrite because I use a lot of AI. Yeah, but I use it to the point where it's an advantage for me, but it doesn't take away me. Like imagine, can you imagine an AI version of me? What do you think it would look like?
A doll, a collagen.
I want this face to stop when I'm 75. Like seriously, I'm gonna start bragging, but
Oh my
like
gosh.
that would be so crazy, right?
Yeah.
And Crystal, good for you for using Grammarly AI. And thank you for being open about that because you know what? At least you know the tools,
Yeah.
right? I'm all for that. Because you need to streamline your process and you gotta be professional at what you're doing. Some people are like, I'm not gonna use AI. And then I read your paper, I'm like, okay, you should have, because I can't understand what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like maybe you should here, you should use it, right? Like
Oh
I'm
god.
okay with it, but use it ethically. That's all I'm saying, right? What are your thoughts on that? Wait, what is the difference when using AI for an outline versus writing your story? A lot.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Susanna, you want to take this? You want me to take it first?
Oh, it's outline, and even the outline, you're going to find that it's only a suggestion. Anything you get from AI, it's only a suggestion. You say, I need an outline for this. Maybe these are the points I want to hit. It gives you something. Just because it gives it to you, don't think that's the best way to go. You still gotta think about it. You still gotta put your own heart into it. If you let it write it, you didn't do anything. You say, "Oh, I reviewed it and it looked good." Well, who the heck cares? Because that means nothing to me. You reviewed it, but you didn't write it.
Mm-mm.
So letting AI write your stuff is like I could easily. I try to keep the language clean at this point because it's got to be your writing. It's got to be from your heart, your knowledge, your way of putting things together. And if you're going to let something else do it for you, then you shouldn't get credit for the work because you didn't do any work.
Oof. Tell them, sister. If you were in, we remember my text message yesterday. Was like, if you were inside out, Susanna would definitely be truth.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So the first thing I think when you're the outline, so we're both using AI, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
and I use outline and you use story. Here's the kicker. Just one thing I can think of is creative control. You no longer have creative control when you let AI run your story.
Mm-hmm.
And it's lying because maybe it's saying, "Oh, it's a cloudy day." And you're like, "No, it was sunny." Right? It was sunny, but it was kind of gloomy sun, when the sun's out and it's still gloomy, but like the weather didn't know what to do with herself.
Yeah.
That's New England, by the way. It changes every 15 minutes. I lived in Boston for a little bit. You lose creative control. Whereas structure, it's outlining like my introduction is going to be bomb, bomb, diggity. Then my body is like, okay, it's a little dramatic. My conclusion's like, yeah, I'm pissed off now. Let's go. Right? Like that is the creative control. If AI does it, it's like so professional.
Mm-hmm.
And the example is like so perfect. And when I'm reading it, and I know if you're writing AI, I might not be telling you, but when I'm reading your chapter and the way I'm talking to you, I was like, girl, you didn't write that story, but that's okay. this is going to be your problem later on because you have your own copyright issues with that one. But your entire story written in AI literally is just relinquishing. You might as well hire a an editor that does edit for you all the time. You might as well have a copy editor that you'll hire, and you just tell them about your story at that point, right? And even then, they'll change the true story of your own story. What do
Mm-hmm.
you think?
You're just hiring a ghostwriter at that point.
Yeah.
Only you figure you're not paying for it because it's Chat GPT or something, and it has no heart. I mean, it's even difficult as a ghostwriter to make sure that you're getting the essence of whoever you're writing about or you're writing for.
Mm-hmm.
To just sit there, you still have to be able to put put a life into those words, because that's gonna, as a ghostwriter, it's still gonna have the other person's name on it, whoever you're writing for. So that person that hires the ghostwriter, they want to make sure that it's still them coming through. It's,
Mm-hmm.
it's just the way you and I edit these chapters.
Yeah.
We make sure that the words that are on the page, what's coming across, we read what they give us, and in some cases it's like we can't do anything. In other cases, we can see where their words, they're not coming across. Others, it's like you just go, you read it, and it's so emotional, you start crying the way some of those stories are. You can't help it. A chat,
Uh,
an AI is not going to give you that crying, that emotion that when you read it, you're like,
yeah, you get
oh
there
my
and you're like,
goodness.
wow. Yeah, it's a different emotion. Like,
Yep.
um, Miguel's story, you couldn't have written that in AI. It was so perfect. Like,
No
I love
way.
it. Yeah. Ollie, CJ's brain is not AI driven. I don't think AI is ready for my brain yet. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Same
There's
sister.
a lot going on in there. I can't believe that we're actually ending this. So, give me a 30-second advice for people who are thinking of writing, period, not just in anthologies, but their own book using AI, sister. What are your advice? What is your advice? One advice.
Hmm?
Yeah, Danielle. And then we go to Susanna.
Oh, same advice I use when I coach people to get jobs. Oh, not the word coach, mentor, guide. Um, Superpower is you. Be yourself. It's most powerful.
Yeah, she knows I don't like the word coach, so guys. Oh, wait, not coach, mentor. I'm sure.
That was my. I missed the shot brick, and then I fixed it though.
Yeah.
I fixed it.
Oh my gosh, Sister Susanna.
Well, I kind of like that, going off of what Danielle said. Be authentic. And there's only one way that you can write authentically, no matter what you think. If it doesn't come from you, it's not authentic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're preaching authenticity. It's okay if you use a tool because it's tools. It's like saying, "Oh my God, you use Excel to calculate this? You're not authentic." It's okay. We can use AI. I'm just saying, don't use AI and just sit here and you're like, "I have 15 million." You know my memoir. If I used AI, it would have been done a year ago. It would have been done a year ago. I'm so emotional when I write it. I'm like, I can't do it. I can do it. And so I stopped, right? But if I wanted I would have been done with my memoir. I'd probably be on 15 series by now. I can't. It's therapeutic for me, but I'm slowing down on writing it. So thank you guys so much for being here. This is on TV network, so I can't extend it, but I love you guys for coming. And please keep up the good work. Please have fun with writing. Use any AI tools that you want. Just be responsible and not use it at 100% capacity. Let's start with 1090. Yeah, let's start with that. We love you guys. Bye. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Please